So sitting comfortably, just beginning with a nice big deep breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. So eyes open, a soft focus. As you breathe out, you can allow the breath to return to its natural rhythm. But just keep the eyes open for a moment. Just focusing in on one particular object within your field of vision. Not staring at it too intently, still aware of the space around you. But just gently focusing on that one object. And then just slowly zooming back out again as you blink a few times with the eyes.
Good morning, everyone. This morning, we're not using the hall because we've got photos being taken in the hall with you as individuals and with your siblings. So we've got a collective worship online on the big screen today. We've talked previously in collective worship about how important it is to tell the truth. I'm going to continue with that theme today with a look at honesty and how important it is to act with honesty. The story I'm going to share with you is about honesty, but it also reflects on greed and the impact greed can have on your life.
Greed is like fire. No matter how much you feed it, it always wants more. Love shares, but greed steals. And sometimes, when greed grows too strong, life itself must step in and teach the greedy a lesson. If you have ever seen selfishness destroy relationships, then this story is for you. Long ago, in a quiet little village surrounded by golden fields and green hills, there lived two brothers, Arjun and Ravi. They were born in the same family, raised under the same roof, taught the same lessons by their parents, but their hearts were very different. Arjun, the elder brother, was gentle, hardworking, and kind. He always believed, "What we have is enough. Happiness is not in taking more, but in sharing what we already have." Ravi, the younger brother, was clever, ambitious, and greedy. His heart whispered, "More, more, more. If I take more for myself, I will be happier." Together, they owned a small piece of land left by their parents. On this land, they grew wheat, rice, and vegetables. Every morning they plowed the soil together, sowed seeds together, and harvested crops together. But when it came time to divide the harvest, their differences appeared. Arjun would smile and say, "Let's divide it equally, brother. Half for you, half for me. That way, we both have enough." But Ravi always frowned. "Equal? No, no. I worked harder than you today. I deserve a bigger share." Arjun would sigh, but he never argued. He loved peace more than grain. He simply said, "If you believe that, take the bigger share. I will be content with what remains." And so, Ravi always took more food, more grain, more money. But strangely, even after taking more, he was never satisfied. His heart always whispered, "Not enough, I need more." The years passed until one summer, a great drought struck the land. The rain stopped falling, the river dried, the once green fields turned brown. The villagers suffered terribly. There was little food, little water, and little hope. Arjun continued to share what he had, even though it was little. If a hungry child knocked at his door, he gave them bread. If a thirsty traveler passed by, he shared his last cup of water. But Ravi became even more selfish. He built strong locks on his doors. He hid his sacks of grain in the dark. When beggars asked for food, he shouted, "Go away! I worked for this. Why should I feed you?" The villagers began to whisper, "Arjun is kind. He's generous even in hard times. But Ravi is greedy. His heart has turned to stone." One night, Ravi sat inside his house, counting his sacks of grain. He rubbed his hands together and smiled proudly. "I am clever. I have enough to survive this whole drought. While others suffer, I will live like a king." Just then, a knock came at the door. It was a poor traveler, thin and weak, his face pale with hunger. He said softly, "Please, kind sir, I have walked for days without food. Just a little bread, just a little water. Please." Ravi's eyes grew hard. "No, go away. I have nothing for you." He slammed the door shut. But in the next house, Arjun heard the same knock. He opened the door, welcomed the traveler, and gave him bread and water. The traveler blessed him. "May your kindness return to you 100 times." Ravi, from his window, saw this and shook his head angrily. "Foolish brother, kindness does not fill your stomach. Only grain and gold matter." But deep inside, his heart was restless. Days passed. One evening, Ravi went to his storeroom. To his shock, he found many sacks of grain torn open. Rats had eaten half of his food. He screamed in anger, but it was too late. A week later, a great storm came. It blew away part of his roof, and heavy rain soaked the remaining grain. What was once his pride now turned to mush. Ravi sat in the mud, holding ruined grain in his hands, crying bitterly. "Why me? I worked so hard. I kept everything for myself, but I lost it all." Meanwhile, Arjun, though he had less, always had enough. Why? Because he shared. And when he shared, others shared with him in return. A neighbor brought him milk. A traveler brought him fruits. Even the earth itself rewarded him. His small field gave more harvest than expected. Ravi could not understand. "I was greedy, but I lost everything. He was generous, yet he gained more. How can this be?" One morning, the village gathered in the square. An old wise man had arrived. His beard was long, his staff was strong, and his eyes shone with wisdom. He said, "Listen, people. In the hills nearby lies a hidden treasure. But this treasure will not appear to just anyone. It will reveal itself only to the one with a pure heart. For the earth itself knows who is greedy and who is kind." The villagers gasped in wonder. "Treasure!" Ravi's heart leapt with greed. "Treasure? Gold? Jewels? This must be mine!" That very night, without telling anyone, Ravi rushed to the hills. He dug wildly, sweating and panting, dreaming of gold. But no matter how deep he dug, he found nothing but rocks and dust. His hands bled, his body ached, but the earth gave him nothing. The next morning, Arjun went to the hills not with greed, but with curiosity. He did not dig. He simply walked slowly, thinking, "If I ever find treasure, I will use it to help the village. No one will go hungry again." Suddenly, the ground beneath him glowed. Slowly, the earth opened and a wooden chest rose from the soil. Inside lay shining gold coins. The villagers gasped in awe. The wise man smiled. "You see, the treasure belongs not to the greedy, but to the kind. The earth itself knows who is greedy and who is kind." Ravi fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face. He cried out, "Brother, forgive me. My greed blinded me. I wanted everything, but I lost everything. You gave away what little you had, and life rewarded you. Please forgive me." Arjun gently lifted him up. "Ravi, It is not too late. Greed destroys, but love builds. What matters is not how much we keep, but how much we share. From that day forward, Ravi changed. He worked honestly, he learned to share, he gave to others without fear of losing. Slowly, the villagers' whispers changed. Ravi, once greedy, has learned his lesson. Now he is kind like his brother. And for the first time in years, Ravi felt something greater than greed. He felt peace. This story teaches us something powerful. Greed is endless. It will never say enough. But kindness multiplies. The more you give, the more life gives back. Repeat these lines with me. Greed destroys. Kindness builds. Greed divides. Kindness unites. Greed takes. Kindness gives. Just like Ravi, we must learn that happiness is not in what we take, but in what we share. Greed may bring temporary gain, but it always leads to loss. Kindness and generosity bring blessings that last forever. So, the next time your heart whispers, "Take more," listen instead to the gentle voice of kindness that says, "Give more," because in the end, life rewards the pure heart.
That story teaches us that greed never leads to happiness. It shows the importance of being kind, acting with kindness, and being honest. It shows how love and patience can bring peace to your life. This is all a valuable lesson for us to take away into our lives. Time for a prayer, and if you'd like this prayer to be your prayer, it's Amen at the end. You're welcome to look at the candle flame, or you can put your hands and your eyes together if that helps you to reflect. If this prayer is not for you, then have a think about what you learnt from that story. Dear God, help us to act with kindness, help us to act with honesty, and help us to avoid greed. Help us to avoid wanting more. In your name let it be. Amen. And remember, Amen means so be it. Let it be. That concludes our collective worship today. Remember, work hard, be kind, look after yourselves, and I'll see you around school.